So let me explain what we're going to do first. We're going to paint around the background first because we want all the way around the bird to be painted and dried by the time we come back to it. Because we need to make these little feathery things coming out, and you do it after the background has dried, okay? So our very first thing is going to be our basket and the wood. Actually, the very first thing will probably be these yellow pots. Then we'll switch to the basket, the wood, and then the black background. The colors that you need are, I'm just using our straight palette, where you're going to be using a lot of yellow, a lot of orange, yellow ochre, the rust, brown, and black. And we're going to use a little bit of the blue in the wood right down here. So it's just our regular palette. And I know you're adjusting to things at home, so I'll just tell you what I'm using, and then you can follow along and pick those same colors, okay? So we are going to start with the yellow pots. And what we want to do is just do wet paint on dry. We're just going to fill it in with a bright yellow. Now, I've traced this so dark that I'm going to have these black lines over the whole thing. I want you to just fill this in with, and I'm using a broad, flat brush for a lot of this painting today. Just going to fill it with yellow. I have one bright yellow pot at my house, and I like it. Remember to unmute yourself if you want to ask me a question. I don't mind that at all. Okay, now, while it's still wet, I'm going to take my paper towel, and I want to put a highlight in there. So I'm just going to dab right there, and even maybe rinse my brush out and lift that. And it can come down the pot a little bit, okay? I also am going to take a little bit of black. Can you see my palette? Yeah, you can. And just do a shadow underneath. And let that bleed down. Okay? And that's our pots. That's it. We can add a little bit of yellow ochre kind of to the side to make it look rounded. But I would just do it in one strip on the sides. Okay. If it's too strong of a line, just take some clear water on your brush and dab right next to it to soften that line. Okay, we're going to jump over with that yellow and yellow ochre to the basket, and we're just going to paint the basket all yellow. Okay, I'm gonna wait till everybody gets that. Can you guys see that? There we go. I can see you're still painting, so I won't move on. Okay. From here, you guys ready to move on? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to move on. No, still painting. Okay, most of you are still painting. I'll wait. Okay. The next color we're going to do is with our yellow ochre. And we're just going to take some, if you don't have yellow ochre, don't worry about it. Just use a watered down brown and a yellow. You could mix yellow and brown together to get it. We're going to go kind of across, like this is a rim, a braided rim on this basket. It's really a pot in the picture. And at the same time, I'm going to start the basket weave. And the way I do that is just here. Okay, and then we are going to darken this bottom rim. How y'all doing? I saw one thumbs up. Is everybody still working on your basket weave? A little bit. Okay.
Hey Debbie, I can't. How do you do the thumbs up? I'm not finding it.
Just in the camera. I'm looking at you guys. So just give me a thumbs up in the camera with your hand. There is a place, I can download the little emojis, but we don't want to complicate it. Just give me a thumbs up in the camera if you're ready to move on. Okay. Awesome. Now we're going to take brown, just the dark brown. And we're going to go over this pot. Same kind of thing. I'm kind of going over the yellow. And then this one, it's gonna, with the paint, I want it a little bit dry on your brush. So we're gonna kind of dry brush the brown over the top. That means that it's not really wet. You haven't used a lot of water with it, and you're just going to go over it with these marks. And the more your brush dries out, the better. And it's just going to give us the idea of a woven basket. Do you see how it's getting really, it's actually getting too light. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is take black and go around the background. So I've got this one done here. We're just going to go black right here and over here behind the chick and the pots. Just the darkest black you can get. Okay. If you don't have black, you can do complementary colors. That means you would use a, what would you use? A red and a green, or a blue and a purple, blue and a green to make the black. Hopefully you all have black. You guys still see me? Yeah? Okay. Hey, Cheryl, will you mute your microphone, please? Cheryl, too. Okay. Okay. So how's it going with everybody? Is it looking like it's panning out? Are you able to see what I'm doing here? You able to follow along? Okay, a couple thumbs up. If you're good to go, I will move on. Oh, someone has a thumbs down, or is that a thumbs up? Oh, what happened?
I'm having to try to mix the black.
Oh, you're mixing the black. Okay, I'll give you a minute.
What colors? I got umber, and what could I put with umber?
Yeah, just do the umber with some red and blue and green, and you'll get it. Black is about like all the colors combined, basically.
What are you using? What are you using to wet your brush? Is it just a glass of water?
Oh yeah, just water.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't tell you to get that. Yes, you need that for sure. Okay. Next, we're going to do the wood graining on the garden bench. So we're going to go back to our brown. Oh, and we need to do this piece of wood up here too. Forgot to do that. We're going to go back to our brown. Let's just go ahead and base the brown in to begin with. So just like the basket where we did the dry brushing, we're going to want to do the same on this wood. And I'll show you how I did it. We want our wood to be a little bit streaky. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this and do this dry brush technique all along here and on the handle and around here, okay? And then we add some layers on top of that. So all I'm gonna do is go like this, and you just leave spots of white showing through. Can you see everybody see that? If your brush is too wet, you're going to get a solid brown, and we don't want that. We just want it really dry brushed. We have to do it back here between the chick and over here on the side. Oop, that's too wet. If it's too wet, just dab it on your paper towel a little. Okay, and I'm going to paint my handle. I'm going to leave that kind of streaky. I don't want it all solid. It's going to look like wood when we're done. Same with this wood up here. I can go back now and do some lines in this wood up. Oop, and off the. I'm going to add some lines up on this wood. And then down on the handle as well. Some dry brushing. Okay, now I'm going to wait till everybody's caught up there. Let me go get something to put this on. I want you guys to be able to see the whole thing at once. That help? Let's see. Is that better? That's the whole picture now. Okay. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is paint the shovel. And we start out with a rust color. So I'm going to be using burnt sienna. And if you don't have rust, you would use red and some brown and black together to make the rust. Just a little bit of black with a lot of red. But I'm just using this burnt sienna, the straight thing, and I'm just filling it in. It doesn't have to be smooth or anything. We're going to be adding blue, brown on top of this and black. So, plus the shadows. So it's going to be quite involved. I'm going to be modeling it like using a sponge. So if you prefer using a bristly, let's see, you could use a bristly kind of brush, but I'm going to just stick with my flat brush and show you can still do it with just one brush. But I'm going to take the black, well, let's do brown first. And I'm just going to dab it. We're trying to replicate a rusty old tool. So on top of that brown, on top of the rust, we're putting down brown. But not very smooth. We want it all, I don't know, what do you call it? Rusty. So let me just show you in the photo. Here's our lightest part in the shovel, and then there's this big black mark here. Then there's the bird shadow that's going to be completely black. But then over here, we've got some dips in the shovel. And so we're gonna try to replicate the shadowing over here. We'll do it mostly with black. But right along here, it's gonna be dark over in this corner. Okay. I'm going to rinse my brush. I'm going to do one little patch of orange. I don't know if you guys can see this. Right here is a piece of orange and maybe some right in there. So I'm going to get my orange. And I'm just going to do some little spots. Okay, maybe a little back here. Right now we need to go over this with black so that around the chick it can be drying. So we're back in our black again. Especially around the chick. Can you guys see that okay? I'm adding black. The shadow of the chick goes out to about here. And it takes in the whole, this foot of the chick. The other foot is in the light, as you can see in the picture. So underneath the chick is dark. Between the legs is completely dark. Okay. We'll add a little bit more shadow later on. We've got a little bit of shadow back here. I'm pouncing on that just to make it look more speckled, like it's rusty. My brush is pretty dry when I'm doing that speckling. Okay, same thing over here. The shadow goes probably about like that. I'm gonna do the same thing with the black. Right there, about where it ends. And then it's just a light. And then we've got this big patch of black right here on the handle that looks like paint. So I'm just gonna lock that in. Okay. How you guys doing? Good? Thumbs up? Staying up? Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is we'll do the gold handle or the gold ring on the shovel, and then we'll do the blue dry brushing on the garden bench, and then we'll jump to the chicken after that. So the gold is the yellow ochre. You can leave it gold like that. In the picture, it's more rusty color. So if you wanted to use a little bit of rust, you could. Okay. Again, I'm going to do a highlight on that. I think it's going to be a little bit shiny. So I'm just taking my clean brush. It's just rinsed out, and I've put it on my paper towel. I'm just going to lift it right in the middle to give it a highlight. Okay. And you can rinse your brush again and do it one more time. See how that picks it up? I don't know. Let's see. There you go. Can you see that? Okay. Now we're going to take our blue, and this is the Prussian blue, but you can use any blue. Just make it light blue. Again, it's the dry brush color. So we want to kind of tap it off. We're just going to go over our blue, our brown. You can leave spots of white. Oops. I made a mistake there. I don't know if you guys saw that right here. I'm gonna have to try to lift that. Okay. Okay. How'd you guys do? Okay? Thumbs up? Thumbs up? Okay. Okay. We are ready to start our chick. Now, as you can see in the picture, most of this is white, a lot of white spots. Ours is going to be a light yellow, but we want to make those little lines going up into the black. And the way we do that is we dry brush into that black with our flat brush and do these bristles out, okay? First of all, we're gonna lay down the black where we need it and get that drying. Get that drying. So he's got it on both sides of his eye. There's some black. You'll want to paint his eyes and do the little black tufts out this way, and especially around here. This is kind of afterwards, but I'll show you how to base it. We have to base it in first before we can do anything. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the black and just go out his cheek like that, and out this side of his cheek.
We can't see.
Yeah, I can't see.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna get him really close. Sorry about that. So you're doing black right here on the side of his face. We're just basing a shadow of black. It's more like a gray, okay? We don't wanna go stark black to begin with. And then under his chin is some fur, some black. Again, I think that's a little dark. I'm gonna lift that. And then over here, he's got a tail that is all black. We just let this dry, and then we're going to go back over it with detail in a minute. His little haunch, his legs, we're just going to add a little bit right there. And then over here, he gets some under this side. Okay. You can also do a little bit under his wings to give it a shadow, okay? So I'm going to take a finer brush to do his eye. It's a number 3. No, it's a number 8. Number 8. Just a pointy, something that has a good point on it. And you're going to want to make it into a point and dip it in your black. We're going to do his eyes and let those dry. They're not round. They're kind of flat on the top, and they go around the sides. Okay. Same over here. Flat, and then rounded bottom. Okay. I'm going to let this black dry for a minute. I'm going to come down and base his legs in orange, just straight orange out of the box. This is called Vermilion. We're just going to come down. I'm going down the front of it, picking up some of that because he is highlighted a little bit. We'll add shadow in a minute. Anyway, you want the darker orange where his feet would, the bottom of his feet would be, bottom of his claws would be. And there's this orange mark right here, a little triangle. I want to make sure we put in. Okay. Oop. Oop. Okay. So at the same time, I'm going to come up to his beak and do the same orange. He's got these little side things. I don't know anything about chicks, but it looks like the same bony stuff that the beak is made out of, off to the side in this picture. Let me show you. Right here, there's these 1 and 2 on each side. Now my pencil is really dark, so this is not ideal. Again, I'm going to lift where I want the top of his beak to be lighter. So just come down with clear water and pick up the middle section of that beak. Okay? He doesn't look good right now. He'll look better in a minute. He doesn't look good right now. Okay, we ready for the yellow? This is the fun part. Okay, obviously this part of his head is really light. And down around here is the darkest yellow. So if you look back at the picture, he's got a lot of dark yellow right here, up triangle piece, right up from the beak. And he's got some yellow down around here and yellow here. But this is truly white. We're not going to keep it completely white. We're just going to do a little bit of yellow. Now, if you would like clear water, if you want to take a minute and change out your water, it's probably a good idea, because it will get dirty. The beak stuff will get dirty. So let's switch out our water real quick. I'd like you also to get a clean paper towel, because you'll need that. Oh, that is not clean. Okay, so I am going to use my flat brush again to do this. And wait till everybody gets back. Where did everybody go? Come back. Okay. Still waiting, a couple people. Great, okay. So the way we go about this is I'm going to run a little bit of water, not a lot, not like you're soaking the paper, but you're going to take some water and go around the whole head. Everywhere there's color. I'm also going to go in these black spots, okay? Then I'm going to take yellow on my brush. Oops. We're going to go up and go across the line into the black. And then quickly dab that up. We're not going to keep that. Let's just go ahead and wet this whole section so the color kind of bleeds through. Okay. So again, now that you've got to keep changing your cleaning your brush though, because it picks up the black from the outside of the border. Can you guys all see that really well? I want you to see that every time I go outside that, it's picking up black, and you need to kind of clean it up. Almost every brush stroke. So we're making that fuzzy hair that's outside the perimeter. And you can pick up all that extra gray that's in there. Just dab it off. Okay. Were you successful in getting that little fringe around his head? Kind of. If you're having trouble, you can switch to a scrubber kind of brush. This is an acrylic brush. That might give you, I don't know. I still like this technique. I'm using the flat edge, just making a line. And because it's wet, it's picking up out in the perimeter and making him fuzzy. Can you guys see that okay? Let me see if I can go down. There you go. Okay. I'm still going to wet this again because I want the yellow to flow down around his eyes, not touching the eyes, and just down around his beak. So now we're just going to add some yellow in. And we'll dab it off where we don't want it. Remember that strong triangle he's got right here. Okay, so now I'm going to again go back and dab it between his eyes and up there. Okay. Now I've got to let that dry so we can go back and do some black strokes, some gray strokes over that. Let's move on to his wings. We'll do some yellow down here. Again, his tummy is pretty. We'll just move down. Well, maybe I'll just back this out one. There we go. Okay.
Debbie, I'm sorry I lost connection and I didn't get the beak and the little things on his head.
Oh no, so where did you leave off? I'm sorry?
I didn't get his beak and his head area at all.
At
The black
all?
was but
Yikes, that's the most critical part. Okay, let me go back and show you. You're gonna wet around his whole head in the black with water, and then you're going to stroke with just clean water and yellow. You're gonna go up into the black, and that smears the line of the black, and you get this little hair that sticks out. Does that make sense? The beak is just going to be in orange, and then lift it right in the middle. Okay. And for those that are going on, just go ahead and fill in with yellow, keeping the center part mostly white. We're just going to do a little yellow in here, but not a lot. Okay. I forgot, we need to put a dark shadow under this chicken before we can do his feathers. So I'm going to back up. Sorry about that. I'm going to use brown and black. It comes across his leg as in shadow. So you're going to do shadow across his leg. And pretty much right there, all of this foot. That makes sense? Let me show you on this picture. Right here, you're going to draw across that with the brown, and pretty much his whole foot. And then you're going to bring it out into this whole section. That's all in shadow. And because it touches up against the chick, we want to do that so we can do the feathers next. Sorry about that. We'll just have to let that dry for a minute. You can add black to that on the shovel. Okay. Okay. So let's go back to these guys over here. I want to add some detail to the eye. So again, we're going to be drawing with our small paintbrush. We're going to go around the eye like that, and right here on both sides and around the top, but leave a little white space around his eye. It's just going to be black liner. It's going to go like this. Okay, like that. So we can use this liner actually to do some of our brush strokes or our feather strokes in the black. And off his little cheeks, he's got this dark and over here. And down here. And down in this area too. Towards the back of the, I'm still using my small brush, by the way. Towards the back, you can fill that in with darker black. Just leave some spots in between. I'm going to go around his, actually I'm not, I changed my mind. I'm going to do a few just under here. And especially in here. Okay, so in here you get some muddled spots of gray. And you don't want it so obvious, so I will be disguising that a little bit. And then down here just below that, I'm going to go back to my wedge, my straight edge. And I think we're ready to draw a lot of the fur in here. So, just wetting it around the red. And then I'm going to that's too dark of a yellow, but you can just dab it off. It's picking up the brown. You might have to rinse off your brush a little bit. Okay. Yeah, rust is nasty. It really comes back to haunt you. It's a matter of keeping your brush really, really clean. Ugh, it's dirty so quickly. Okay. Were you able to do a little bit of furry fringe around the bottom? Okay, good, good. I probably took too much off there. Let's see. Okay. I don't like this. It's a little bit too gray. So I'm just going to model it with a little bit of yellow. going to scrub that out. I don't like it. Okay, onto his wing. Again, it's the same thing. We need to wet around it. And then we're going to make his wing fuzzy. Same thing here. We need to kind of wet it. We're going to go around and get the yellow under his beak to come and hang over his chin. My pencil marks are just destroying this picture, but I'm hoping the pencil marks help you. But it's not working as far as this painting goes. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, so we're trying to kind of muffle this edge right here and get some yellow in there. We're going to come in with some dry brush strokes of gray, black, and do some smudges of little hairs. So that's the next step. It's just not working on this picture with the pencil mark so dark. Okay, so I'm going to pretend the pencil mark's not there. I'm just going to dab onto my black, and I'm going to just do just a few marks. And up by his eye. I think when we're done with this, we're going to have to go over his beak a little bit more. It still needs some work. Again, I'm going to just dry brush a little bit of I'm kind of separating my bristles here because I want lots of little hairies, if that makes sense. You can just go over wherever you think the body needs a little bit more. Okay. Let's go back and make this beak prettier. And the lines on the legs, we need to do the highlights. So I'm going back into the orange. And I'm just going to define this nose, first of all. And he's got two little things. It's kind of, I'll just leave it like that. Now on his legs, he's got these lines. I'm sure you've all seen them. But you guys probably can't see what I'm doing. Okay. I think he needs just a hair more, little dark triangle. Just a little bit more yellow around this area. I'm just dry brushing this yellow on. Okay. Then we just need to go back to our pots. We need to add a little bit of definition to our pot. It's a little bit bright, in my opinion. We need to add some shadows. So our shadow is going to be on this side. Our lightest part is going to be over here. So I'm just going to take brown and just go down the side of the pot in quite a bit of it. And the very last line, I'm going to just do water, and I want it to just disappear. The bottom is going to be darker brown. Under the lid is a dark brown shadow. Under the lid, the rim, I should say. Okay. And then a shadow over here. That's pretty dark. Okay, our lightest side's over here, just like it is over here. As far as this pot goes, I'm going to take a little bit of black. And go along that pot. And along the top of the next pot. These are two hard lines on the pot, so we want to make sure they are lines. The other thing is we're going to go around the shovel. Right now it's very flat looking, and I want to make sure that it shows the edge around it. So I'm going to take my black and I'm lining around the edge. And it's okay if it starts to turn rust, that's fine. I want to do a little bit of a line around around the shovel. You know, I noticed since I've been taping a lot of videos that I talk and then I just leave it mid-sentence. So I leave you guys hanging a lot. Did you notice that? That I just kind of say, I want to do this, and then I never tell you what to do till a minute later. Hopefully you can follow along with me, okay? The other thing that needs to be done is we need to add some lines in our wood, both grains of wood. So again, black, but it's going to be really dry brush your black. There's a couple of lines in there. And then go over it with black. And then up on this wood, I want to take a yellow stripe down the middle, just to highlight it. And then we're going to dry brush black down it too, on the sides. Okay.
Please lower the picture.
Oh, lower it? Oh, sorry. I think I need to come back out a little. There, we can get the whole thing.
So you put one yellow.
A line of yellow down the middle. Okay. And then I took black and just did some stripes in the wood on either side. To make it look like old barnwood, kind of. I'm going to add a black line under this pot because it's a deep shadow. And we can go ahead and add a little line at the top. Okay. Guys, I think we're about done. Can you think of anything that needs to be done? Oh, I know, a little rust, like a rivet on the handle. Okay. Now, if you want to, and you've got gel pen, a white gel pen or white gouache, you could add a dot in the middle of each of these little chick's eyes, and that would brighten her up a little bit. But again, on the photograph, it really doesn't show that. It does have a ring though. You know what? It does have a ring of green around her eye. Let's go ahead and do that. Using this light green, well, any green that you have is fine. And I'm going to use a small brush. But there's just a little bit of green under that eye that I didn't notice before. There. Okay. Maybe I'll add it to this one too. Okay. Well, guess what? That's it.